So you're brand new to Minecraft and want to know how to play. This is the video series for you. Coming up. Hi, it's Full Grown Gamer coming at you with a brand new series, How to Play Minecraft. Specifically, How to Play Minecraft Pocket Edition. If you're already familiar with Minecraft, this video probably isn't going to be for you. Don't worry though, you can still subscribe to the channel and catch all my future Let's Plays, tips, tricks, and how-tos. And don't forget to check the description below if you're interested in knowing what gear I use to play the game and create my videos. Now, if you're just getting started and maybe feel a bit overwhelmed or confused, I'm going to do my best to break it down for you and get you playing the game like a pro. In this video, we're going to go over some tips and considerations you should be familiar with before actually starting the game, including the various platform and release versions of the game and the differences between creative mode and survival mode, and which one you should consider using when you're just getting started. If you want to skip the details and get straight to the survival gameplay, then go ahead and click the link above for the next video. Alright, let's get into it. Tip number 1. Know what version of Minecraft you're playing. That may sound silly, but if you're like me, you're probably going to be looking for videos on how to perform certain tasks in the game. YouTube is a wealth of information with a lot of great how-tos, but it can also be frustrating and confusing if you don't know how to search effectively. You see, there are many variations of Minecraft. While it's the same game at heart, each variation may contain differences in how the game plays or what items or features may or may not be available within the version you're playing. There are platform-specific versions of the game, such as the original PC version, Windows 10 Edition, Xbox One Edition, Apple TV Edition, and PS Vita, just to name a few. Each of these platforms can vary drastically from one another, and as if that weren't confusing enough, you also have multiple versions within each platform. For instance, at the time of this video, I'm playing Minecraft Pocket Edition 1.0.5. Each time the game is updated, new features are added, changed, or sometimes altogether removed. So if you're searching for how-to videos, make sure that you're searching specific to the platform you're playing on and as close to the version number you're currently on to ensure that the tips and tricks in the video are also available to you. One quick side note, many people will tell you that Windows 10 Edition is the same as Pocket Edition, and for the most part, they're not wrong. However, there are some differences in the way the game plays. The most obvious difference is in crafting. With Windows 10 Edition, you have to know how to make each item according to the recipe. Pocket Edition is much more forgiving and shows you the recipe and what is needed to craft the item. Other than that though, most of what you see in Windows 10 Edition will be applicable to Pocket Edition as well, and vice versa. And this brings me to the question of the day. Leave a comment below and let me know what the biggest difference you've experienced between platform versions is. Tip number 2. You can play with a controller. Pocket Edition is a touch-based game by default, but don't be afraid to pick up a controller if you don't like the touch controls. I have bigger hands, so they tend to cramp up when playing on my phone for extended periods of time. I play with a SteelSeries Nimbus and absolutely love it. It makes long sessions more enjoyable. Again, all the information on that is down in the description below. If you want to activate controller as opposed to touch settings, just go to settings and you'll see here you've got an option for touch and an option for controller. All you have to do is make sure that the option for controller is activated, link your controller to your device, and you're good to go. I leave all of the button settings the same as I find that they work for me. However, you can get in here and you can customize some of these settings to more fit your playing style. Tip number 3. Get your feet wet with creative mode. There are 2 primary game modes in Pocket Edition, which you'll find out if we go here and do create new, generate random. You'll see the default game mode is survival. However, we also have another option for creative mode. If you're getting started, I highly recommend checking out creative mode. Creative mode is designed to give you all the tools you need to be as creative as you want by making every game asset available to you from the start. So let's go ahead and create a creative world. That just says that achievements won't be activated while in creative, again, because it's giving you every asset within the game. And we're going to leave everything else the same for now. And it spawned me on top of a tree. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so this is creative mode. Now, what I want you to notice about creative mode is the inventory bar down at the bottom. As you can see, there are a number of things in there. The world generates randomly, just like as if you were playing in survival mode. However, if we open up that inventory, you'll see that I have access to every game asset in the game. Every kind of block, every kind of weapon, every kind of piece of furniture, you name it, I've got access to it there. Creative mode, again, is designed so that you can get in and you can make whatever you want. In addition to that, creative mode does not have a health system and it does not have a hunger system. I'll show you more of those whenever we go into our survival world. So the basic goal with creative mode is just to get in and, as the name implies, create things and not have to manually gather the materials that you need in order to create those things. Another thing that's different about creative mode is you can fly. So you can move across the map quickly. You can see what's around you. And in survival, this is not available to you. You have to manually walk the distance or ride a horse through survival. In creative mode, it allows you to quickly move across the map and see everything that's there. So again, if you're just getting started, creative mode is a great way to get in, get your feet wet, get familiar with some of the controls, and possibly experiment with building your first shelter. There are a lot of people that actually use creative worlds to test builds before they create their builds in their survival worlds. It gives them an idea of how much of each material they're going to need, since in survival you have to go out and manually gather those materials. And it's another great tool that you can use to play around before implementing certain builds within your survival world. Now, the second game mode and the default game mode, if we go here again to generate random, is survival. Let me rename this real quick. So we've got the name set. And the default game mode is survival, and I'm going to create one of these, and I'm going to show you the differences between these. Now, survival is much more challenging, but it's also much more rewarding, in my opinion. If you want to get in, you want to experience the adventure of the game, survival is the way to go. Here on difficulty, you've got a few different settings that you can choose from. You've got peaceful, easy, normal, and hard. For now, I'm going to start on normal, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you something about those settings in a minute. We're going to leave everything else the same. Infinite world, which basically means that our world is as big as we want it to be. It's going to generate as we move through it. So we're going to let this generate. And let's see where it has landed us. Whenever you first start a new game, the world generates as you move through the game. So it can start you anywhere in any type of biome. We'll talk more about biomes in a later video. But at any point, just like in my creative world, it spawned me on top of a tree. Here, it looks like we've spawned inside a spruce forest. The first thing that I want you to notice about survival is down at our inventory bar. Unlike creative mode, you'll see our inventory bar is empty, and if I open it up, I have a limited number of slots, and there's nothing in there. Why is there nothing in there? That's because I haven't physically gathered any materials yet. In survival, you have to manually gather every item that you're going to use to then craft the items that you want. In addition to that, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see a row of hearts. That is our health meter. That means we can get hurt. If I jump off this, you see, I lost hearts. I took damage. I got hurt. And then in the top right-hand corner, we have some, I don't know if those are ham legs or what those are supposed to be, but that is our hunger bar. And the purpose behind that is that as we move through our world, as we expend energy, we actually have to keep ourselves fed as well. That can be through killing animals and cooking their meat, or through planting vegetables and harvesting other foods to eat, but you have to keep yourself fed. And the more energy you expend, the hungrier you're going to get. Eventually, if that hunger bar goes down to 0, you will start losing hearts and essentially die of hunger. So these are the primary differences, in addition to one other major one. At night, monsters will come out, or anywhere it's dark, actually, mobs will spawn, monsters will come out, and their goal is to do you harm. They will hurt you, they will kill you. So in addition to gathering supplies, you also have to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe. You need weapons and you need shelter along with food and other resources. Okay, like I say, right now we're playing on normal mode, so you see we've got bad guys that will come out and they will hurt us. I'm going to get close just so I can show you the damage. See, he's hurting me. This leads me to tip number 4. If you're just getting started, your first survival experience, it can be really difficult, especially whenever nightfall comes, because these guys are going to be out like crazy along with other mob spawns that can be much more damaging, such as creepers, which will explode whenever you get close to them. So tip number 4 is consider using peaceful mode. Go into your settings, change the difficulty to peaceful, and you can do this at any time, and then resume the game. And you see immediately, oh, well, he died, so that's a bad example. But what peaceful mode does is basically it turns off those mobs. So it allows you to still experience survival. And you notice I fell a little bit there, but my heart's immediately filled back up. It's not only turning off the mobs and giving me a fighting chance to kind of get my feet wet, maybe build my first shelter, get some tools or some weapons, but it also makes it to where you're not going to take anywhere near as much damage. You still can get hurt, but it's going to be very difficult for you to die. If I were to walk over into this lava, I could still die, but in addition to that, it's also going to turn off the hunger. So right now, I won't get hungry to the point that I lose hearts or anything like that. So consider utilizing peaceful mode. It can give you a leg up as you're just getting started in survival mode, and is a great way to familiarize yourself with this version of the game. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully these tips have been helpful to you. In the next video, we're going to jump straight into survival and what you need to know to stay alive, especially through the first night. Leave me a comment below and what you think of the video. And again, don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription means a lot to me. I appreciate the community we're building here. Take care. Until next time.